Robert Reynolds for the Mavericks. And one of the founding members of the group. We started the band back in 1989, if you can imagine that.
It was before I was born.
before both of us were born, actually.
Oh, yes. I thought you might say that. No, it's hard for me to believe sometimes that here we are, almost 25 years later, and feeling completely rejuvenated and ready to go.
For sure. So I guess, do you just want to talk a little bit about the new album that you released back in February?
Sure, absolutely. Well, as I spoke of being rejuvenated, it's a kind of funny thing. I feel we had an impact creatively and to a person. The band had always promised each other that we wouldn't force this. If it didn't feel right, we were going to walk away. Mm-hmm. And so, in fact, in 2005, we did. We stepped away from it and gave it a big, long break, about 8 years. And as we got the itch again, we called one another, had a great dinner, and talked about a new album. And within a very short period of time, we were in the studio and completely back to that hunger that we had when we were younger guys. It was a fabulous experience. It really, really informed the record. In fact, I think the good spirit and energy of this record is a tribute to feeling renewed.
So how would you say that it differs from the other albums that you've released?
Well, the interesting thing, as far as different, we have finally hit a spot in our life, a place in our life creatively where we're not as beholden to the trends of the moment, and we don't pretend to be younger men than we are. We feel somewhat liberated from the sort of the youthful first few records where you kind of do anything you can to get a foothold in the business. And in fact, we just really came back around to serving first and foremost the purpose of the music and let that dictate versus, say, record labels, managers, booking agents. We just really shape-shifted things so that we could, at this juncture, make a record that felt just governed by the music. So I don't have a record personally, and all of our albums over all of the years, I don't have a record that I dislike at all. And I'm not being boastful, I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. I genuinely like the music we've made, but I have favorites. There's no doubt that I have favorites. And among them, I would put this record quite literally in my top 2 or 3.
Wow.
And I feel that's such a blessing to be 50 years old, to have a band that's going on 25 years together, and to have arguably made one of your best records ever. I really feel that is one of the great gifts of music.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, could you talk a bit about the experience of recording, I guess once you guys got into the studio and got back together?
Sure, absolutely. One of the cool things about the Mavericks is that we've had this sort of sound, and that's the congruent part of our music, which is from album 1 to the most recent record, In Time. There are some common denominators, and that's sort of that Maverick kind of sound, if you will. And in a weird way, the analogy of like riding a bike, you get back on and you go again. There was some truth to that. That whole period of renewal gave us a sense of good spirit and a lot of healing. But once we got in the studio, we really quickly found our footing. And so there was almost an urgency to this record, a kind of passion that we hadn't seen in some many years in the years before the split up. We were lacking some of that enthusiasm and that energy, and this came back quite immediate. In fact, the first song we recorded was Back in Your Arms, and it was sort of I guess you'd say a metaphor for the way we felt about being together again, and the way we felt about embracing music and our fans once again. So it's track one on the record. It's the first song we recorded in the studio, and it really is kind of the it's the tone setter, if you will. It sets the tone for the record.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have like a favorite song from any of your albums, really, that you like to perform on stage?
Oh yes, sure, yes I do. For different reasons, different songs will have meaning for me.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the old catalog, Crying Shame being the first big single for us. What a Crying Shame really, really, changed our lives. And I still love hearing that song. I love singing it and playing it. So for me, it's still a kind of, as simple as it is, and being that it's the first big single, it's many years back, but I love it. A song called Here Comes the Rain, I've always liked it, melodically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
When we get up into Canada, we've had this song that I always felt it's a song called Oh What a Thrill, and I always felt like it brought us our first notoriety in Canada, so it feels special. People really respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then off the new record, there's a song called In Another's Arms, and we don't do it every night. We do it only on those nights where it feels special and it feels right. And it's a gorgeous song. I really feel it's one of Raul's best compositions. And when we play it live, it just moves me. I still get chill bumps.
So during that Mavericks hiatus, you went out and recorded 2 EPs yourself. Could you talk a bit about that yourself?
Golly, yes. You're not going to bring that up, are you?
I mean,
it's your homework. Well, I did. I had to make music. There was no doubt that leaving the band as we all stepped away, Raul had what I would call the biggest agenda was likely or largely Raul's need to go find out who he was as a singer and songwriter without the Mavericks. And I feel he began to answer that with his solo records. For me, it was about other collaborations. For me, it was about other collaborations. It was working with different people. Getting away from the old partnership with the Mavericks. So really, and it was also about finally giving a little bit of a voice to my songs, my lyrics.
Right.
But when you're with a singer like Raul, you don't ever want to claim to be a singer, because he's so darn good that I feel like I'm at best I hum songs. That's all I do. I kind of faintly hum compared to that man.
Is there anybody out there that you'd like to collaborate with someday that you haven't had a chance to yet, either individually or with the Mavericks?
Sure, there's one kind of unique dream, and it's not so far fetched, but it would be, a very rare happening if it could ever come to pass. And I always thought it would be cool to have ever played music with a Beatle, and I feel like Ringo, having always loved the old Buck Owens songs and he was one of the Beatles that truly loved old school country music. And he did some of that stuff on those early Beatle records.
Right.
I felt like it would always be really cool to have Ringo guest with the band. And it may seem kind of funny. There are certainly other people for different purposes, but the big dream for me would be, how cool would it be if Ringo was back on the drum kit or something like that? So.
Yeah.
So the big tour starts on Saturday. Is there anywhere you guys are looking forward to going on the tour?
Oh gosh, I mean we've already been throughout Europe and the UK, Australia, many parts of the US that we have had some phenomenal collaborations and amazing partnerships in the past with promoters that do a great job and audiences that have come to love us. So for me, any chance we get to get down to Texas is great. California is always wonderful. Our Canadian audiences mean a lot to me. There's still markets that we we need to get to and really stimulate it again. We haven't done a lot in New Orleans over the years. We've never done enough for my money, and I feel like we need to get down there and really work. Throughout Louisiana, for that matter, but New Orleans being a great music town, I feel like we need to get down there and give them some Mavericks. Yeah, you know, we first and foremost love playing for our fans here in the United States, but we're blessed to have an audience in many parts of the world outside of the U.S.
Right. So, what can people look forward to when they go to see the show?
A very rejuvenated Mavericks. You know, the thing that we have going right now is we blend in the live show currently. We blend a great bunch of the old songs, not only singles and things that were familiar from the radio, but also deep cuts, B-sides, and album cuts. And then we also do a nice handful of songs off the new record, those that have really worked well on the live stage. Mm-hmm. So it's a blend of those things, and we still put in some cool covers just to kind of show people where we are in our musical mindset.
Right.
But the coolest thing is there's 9 pieces on stage, horns, and some of the great, the great old memories come back, I think, quickly.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have in store for after the tour, future plans, that sort of thing?
Well, we were talking on the bus last night, talking about making a new record, and really we're just looking for building a break in our touring schedule so that we can take the time to be in the studio. Mm-hmm. And Raul, of course, wants some time to get some new songs completed, get them written. So really, for us, it's a new album and some related work. Some things that will go with new music, soundtrack work. With the new record comes collaborations, things like songwriting that Raul needs to do with other people.
Right.
The band needs to spread its wings a little bit and also show the fans that we really do intend to stick around for more than one album.
Very cool.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I appreciate it very much. I thank you on behalf of the whole group.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for the time today.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, take care of yourselves.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.